All right. Welcome to this live session here. I'm Rafael Cintron. This is my six-figure student, Ryan. You probably know him. I've done a lot of videos with him. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes until more people join the live training. We already got 10 people here. If you're watching this as a replay, please skip to minute 4 or 5 when we're actually going to get into the content. But for now, let's just wait until people let us know where you're watching us from down in the comments. And welcome, Ryan. Really happy to have you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Hey, everyone.
Let us know where you're watching us from down in the comments. And we're going to get into not the secrets, but all the actual journey that it took Ryan from going from zero. When I met you, you were just starting in Shopify, wanting to be great, wanting to get results. I remember you put down that you actually want to make your grandparents proud of you. That was the main goal that you wanted. And now you've gone way more than that. You actually even help people grow their Shopify businesses in my team. So definitely a big change from, I think, November 2019 that you actually started working with me. So we're going to talk about all the journey and absolutely everything in that. And then we're going to do Q&A, answering questions from people, seeing what people have issues about or things that they want help with. So
awesome.
All right, Malaysia. Hello, India. Nice. Questions, please leave them for the end because we're actually going to go through all the questions at the end and help you with anything that you need. We're just going to wait until more people join up and then we can get started. Through all the questions at the end. Got the audio there. All right. Let's go. Welcome, people. All right. So let's get started a little bit. So Ryan, tell us a bit about what was life before you started your business. What was the motivation behind actually doing dropshipping, behind doing Shopify dropshipping? And how did you decide on, for example, working with me, working with a mentor? What was the motivation for that? And how did everything start for you?
Yeah, great question. I mean, gosh, where do I start really? So pretty much life before, working with you, it was kind of a bit of a struggle. I was, looking for a job after finishing university, but I couldn't get one for like months because I was quite picky with the job that I wanted. So I started like looking for ways to make money online. And I tried like a number of online business models. None of them really worked out for me because it didn't really suit who I was. But nonetheless, I learned a lot along the way. And then finally, I tried going into ecom because I had a friend who was doing about, I remember him showing me his sales dashboard on his phone. He was making about 3,000 to 5,000 per day on his ecom store. And this is a guy that went to the same uni as me. He was in the same course. And, our results after uni was kind of like different. So I was like, okay, I want to learn more about this. I started asking him more about the business, and he was telling me it's a great business model to go into. It can be scaled massively and really quickly, almost has no limit, and you don't even have to work that much. So I started looking into it, and one of the first things that I did was I went online to buy like a course, and for like the first few months, I was really just being a sponge. I wanted to consume as much knowledge as I could about e-commerce and Facebook ads for e-commerce. Long story short, I ended up launching a store. It was like a one product store.
Why did you do the one product store? Just because of the course, or?
Yeah, it was because of the course and also like the information that I was, getting online from other people, other YouTubers and stuff. It kind of pointed me to doing a one product store. So I tried it, but it failed. So, then I realized like, I need to work with someone, like a mentor to just guide me to who I want to be. Because trying to just duplicate information from a course and like thousands of free info online all by myself, for me it wasn't like realistic to get me to where I was quick enough. And honestly, at the time, I didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't want to burn a lot of money because I know I was going to make a lot of mistakes. Having that failed store, I already burnt quite a lot of money, so I didn't want that to continue. So I decided I need to get a coach. So that's when I joined your program. I started watching your YouTube videos, and I booked a call. And one of the biggest surprise for me was like when I joined, first of all, it was like the new information that I received, and pretty much it was almost the complete opposite to everything that I've learned before in the courses that I bought and information online.
In what way, though?
Like
how was it different?
Like to do with the store, I didn't do a one product store.
Yeah.
The Facebook ads was different, the type of product pages and stuff, and product research and the ads. Yeah, a lot of the ads. It's not really a surprise because my results were completely opposite of what I had after working with you. And the other main difference was like the amount of support that I was getting from your team, which was like exactly what I needed. Someone to just who I can talk to and communicate with. And so life after after working with you, I started scaling to like 6K per day after 4 months.
But how did you? So before we get into the 6K per day, and thank you everybody for watching. Let us know where you're watching us from. We're interviewing my 6-figure student Ryan on his story, his secrets, how he scaled up to 6K a day, 6 figures in a Shopify store. So when you got to 6K a day, what was the process to get there? Because obviously a lot of people here are probably watching and saying, oh, he got really quickly to 6K a day. I can do that too. But in the beginning, you had like your first $100 day, and then you had your first like $1,000 days. So how would you say that progress was? Was it very slow? Was it more of you just were afraid to scale, were afraid to invest more money? How was that process in the beginning?
So the process, it was in my eyes, it was pretty quick from what I can remember. Like I was testing a product that you recommended to me, and the first day of testing, I was already making sales, and I was making over $200 in sales or something like that, which is pretty nice. And within the first 30 days, I was already hitting like 1K per week in sales, and I was slowly like saving up the cash flow to scale bigger and bigger. And then, Chinese New Year came and I had to kind of pause my store. And then the COVID hit a bit in China. So I kind of had to pause for like 2.5 months. But then after that, things got going again. I resumed the ads, and I started working with an ads manager on your team to, help me scale things up faster because I already like had a lot of data and stuff. So after I resumed, like within the next few weeks, I scaled from like a few $100s a day all the way up to 6,000 per day in sales.
How did that feel, hitting 6K?
It felt unreal, pretty much. Like, when you hit that like 1,000 per week, like, hell, when you hit your first sale, it already felt crazy. And then next thing I knew, I was hitting 1K per week, and I thought I was like a millionaire. And then a few months later, after resuming my store, I hit like 1K, and my parents thought like it was a joke. And then all of a sudden, like first 5K and then 6K, it was insane. Like I remember when I started out, I just wanted to make like, some money on Shopify, but started hitting new levels pretty quick. So it felt unreal when it happened. But yeah, slowly it kind of sink in. Yeah.
How did you manage, obviously a lot of newbies, beginners, they get to that point of, let's say, 5K, 10K, maybe even in a month. How do you manage maintaining that in terms of, when you hit 6K, how do you stay at that level instead of just hitting 6K and thinking, I'm done? I got to where I wanted to get. So
so like one thing is having the right mindset to just keep the consistency up, and also having the right processes in place for the business to maintain it, the right team, the right coach, so that when I need something, I can always go to. That's pretty much it. Like the right processes. So like, for example, when it comes to product research, I always had a team to help me grind out winning products and everything, which is something that you told me to do in the program, to like automate pretty much every part of the process and everything. So yeah, the system is important, and they're having the right mindset to just keep going and not get complacent and stuff.
what's the biggest advice you would give, for example, the people watching here? Let's say you're making a couple of sales. How do you get from that level of just making some money to actually scaling up to where you want to get to? What's the biggest, if it was you 2 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
See, the thing is, like, I was scaling with you. I never even really got to the, like, now I can scale when I was on my own, because I made like one sale and it wasn't consistent and stuff, because everything was wrong. Like, everything in my business was pretty much broken because I was doing it on my own, right? So like, I think what really helped was having a mentor who is someone, a person who's in the position where I wanted to be. I wanted to get mentored by someone who's pretty much like tripped and failed multiple times. He's invested in other mentorships himself and basically went through a lot of BS. And now he's dialed in a system, a process that's just like rinse and repeat. And so I don't have to go through all that trial and error myself, and just have, you fuel the jet for me.
Yeah, so you would say that the biggest thing is to get someone to guide you, mentor you in the process, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know that Bill Gates has a person that he goes to for advice and counsel to make the right decisions. We're talking about Bill Gates here, who's been back and forth like the first and second richest guy in the world. So I do really believe in, the power of someone who can just guide you. Like, if you're doing it yourself, you kind of go into a maze and you stop and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get out of this. But when you have like a mentor like you, for example, the amount of times I was on the calls, asking you questions, you basically like pick me out of that maze and just tell me where to go. And that was like the difference, because my learning curve when I was doing it on my own is kind of like this. But when I started working with you, I realized it was kind of just like, new information and everything. And yeah.
And it's not magic. Like, for example, some people, they get a mentor and that never happens. That scaling never happens. So also, I think it was when you started working with me, I thought, this guy knows what he wants. He is willing to really do anything to get there. And also he just really follows advice to the T. Like, you were always looking for, what should I do in this situation? Okay, here's your advice. All right, I'm going to do exactly that. And you would follow that exactly as instructed. So I think one of the big things is that you were coachable. You were able to be shaped in the way where you get results. And I think that's what a lot of people miss, because, coaching, mentoring, help, it's all over the internet. There's free information, but sometimes, you get that information and then you think, no, I know better. Let me just do something else. Or I'm not going to try that. I'm going to try that other thing. And I think the reason why you went that, obviously you scaled up very quickly, because compared to other people, you scaled up extremely quickly. it was because of the right mentorship, but also because of the way you were thinking about this journey, and also you were never afraid of testing products, never afraid of failing. You found a product that you wanted to do, you tested it, didn't work out. You also I remember you called me in, I think that was April, and you told me, hey man, I really need help right now because I got like 1,000 products stuck in China. I don't know what to do. I remember that time. You were dealing with CJ Dropshipping, I think.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I know people, that's something they're kind of scared about, obviously, since COVID. Products stuck in China.
And that's sort of like one of those moments where, I was really grateful and thankful that I had someone, a mentor to go to, because if I didn't have anyone to talk to, I would have just like, I don't know what I would do. In that moment, basically, I had, I think, over 1,000 orders just stuck in China. Because the supplier just told me like, okay, all the shipping methods for this product, it's no longer available because the supply of planes or some stuff is just, it was going down. So I had to find a new supplier, and I think, you connected me with one of your suppliers, and they managed to, ship my orders for me. So that was insane.
I lost Ryan there. Let me see if I'm still up.
Are you still there?
We're still here?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost you. You're back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you back? Okay. Yeah, I was saying like, I had over 1,000 orders stuck in China, and
connecting you to the right suppliers, they managed to actually do it.
Yeah, you connected me to one of your suppliers. You connected me to a bunch, and one of them managed to get them shipped. The price was a little higher, but hey, at least they're shipped, So one of those moments where you pretty much bailed me out.
Would you say that was the hardest part of building the business, was the actual delivery of the products, or more the beginning steps, not really knowing what to do, or was more, now I got to 6 figures, how do I keep going? What's the hardest thing in that journey?
The hardest thing? Ooh. That's a tough question. I don't think there is like the hardest thing. I think the hardest thing was probably getting my money unblocked by PayPal.
True.
Like there was a lot of obstacles along the way. I wouldn't classify. I can't remember if any of them was the hardest. But I think the shipping and the PayPal issue was one of the hardest. But now that I've gone through them, I know what not to do, and I can tell other students who join the program who are starting out. I can warn them about that and tell them what they should do to prevent all of that. Because now that I think back, I couldn't prevent them from happening. Yeah.
Definitely.
If I was experienced.
Yeah. How do you see the future of Shopify stores? Do you think, because obviously there's a lot of people that want to build a Shopify store, that want to start a dropshipping business, but they're constantly looking for like, is dropshipping dead? Is dropshipping gonna die? And when you started, that was kind of like the peak of dropshipping is dead, because people were talking about like drop servicing and other styles of business. So how did you beat that in the beginning? Like that?
Yeah. Honestly, like I was, even when I started looking into Shopify, people were already saying like, "Oh, is Shopify dead? Is this dead?" And like, not like as a beginner, it did made me cautious a bit. But I see my friend literally doing 5K a day, and so many other successful people doing it, and I realized like I'm taking information pretty much from the wrong people, because the people who are saying dropshipping is dead or whatever, they're not really successful. And it goes back to, again, like I want to learn from people who are in positions where I want to be, and I only want to take info from those kind of people. I don't want to take info from the people who are not, successful in this, right? So ever since I started just kind of shut out all the bad info like dropshipping is dead, blah, da, 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 and I just shifted to just taking info from successful people in the business and everything. That's when, things really took off for me as well. Because I had no, counter intentions in my mindset and in my business. Like the only way was just up.
It was spending time with people that were doing what you wanted to do, and there was no other way. Like you saw them being successful, so there was no way of you telling yourself, I can't do what they're doing.
Exactly.
Especially that guy that went to university with you. It's like the perfect case study of, why is he successful? Why me not? I can do what he's doing. So,
yeah, and I mean, like even now, I'm in our Facebook group community. Students are posting sales, pretty much every month. So I don't think dropshipping is dead.
No, it's definitely not dead, but there's still people that think, is it too late? Is it saturated? So there's definitely some thoughts about that. And I'm a little bit blurry, so if you see me blurry, people, it's fine. It's just my internet. I'm in Dubai, and the internet here is not that good. So let's take some questions from the comments. If you have absolutely any questions for Ryan, six-figure Shopify store owner, let us know. One person said, how do you scale if you find a good product? So for example, in the beginning, you got the best results with a product that I actually gave you. But what would you say to someone that wants to scale up? If they find a good product or they think they found a good product, what would be the best course of action for them?
Yeah, like it depends on a variety of factors, like the performance of your ads, whether you're doing like Facebook, Instagram influencers, or Google ads, or even YouTube ads. It would depend on the performance. You would need to analyze the data. Like if it's like winning data that is scalable, then I just scale it up. Like there's a process for it. Yeah, you would have to look at the numbers. Like that's what I do.
Analyze basically a lot of number analysis, a lot of looking at, because I think people just, if I'm getting sales, if I'm profitable, let me scale up, where they should really just look at what they're doing. And also what you had a lot, which I think that helped you a lot, was your patience. So you would get a bunch of sales in one day, and then 3 days later, like the 3 next days, you wouldn't get any sales. And you didn't freak out. You weren't like going all over the place. You weren't quitting. You just looked at the 4-day period.
Yeah.
You saw that you were profitable. So you just kept on testing and yeah.
It's like knowing what to optimize as well and what to fix according to what the numbers tell you. Because what I learned from you and the program is like data. It pretty much like tells you almost everything if you know how to interpret it. And data, they don't really lie. Like it's there. You just got to interpret it correctly and then make the right fixes and changes. It could be like in your ad. It could be like in your product page. In my case, it was a lot to do with the product page and some technical stuff in the back end, including like the checkout and everything. So yeah, like just knowing what to tweak and stuff according to what the numbers are telling you.
Exactly. Hi, Rafael. In testing phase, use ABO or CBO. Typically, what we recommend for the testing on Facebook ads is to use ad set budgets in the beginning when you're starting to test. And then when you scale and you actually run a lot of campaigns at a high budget, then you want to use CBO, campaign budget optimization. That's typically what we recommend. In the beginning, very simple to test with ad set budgets, not so hard to control it. If you have good CBO experience and you've ran a lot of CBOs, then you can test with CBO very easily. But ad set budgets are typically easier. So someone wants to know, what was the problem with PayPal? We actually made a whole video about that, but you can talk about a little bit about the problem that you had.
Yeah. I was like a baby back then. you know. Yeah. So PayPal, they just kind of held my money because I didn't warn them that I was scaling up, which I didn't really expect that. I thought like, oh, I made a PayPal account, like they're just gonna, just pay money out to me. They're just gonna capture the money for me and then just pay it to my bank. And everything's gonna be like rainbows. But apparently, because they are regarded as like the safest payment processor or something, they have a protocol and everything. So
Yeah, you got a lot of money stuck with no
yeah,
reason.
but now they love me. Like they lifted my limit, and I can, you know, capture a lot of money and get it paid out really quickly. So if you have a,
Go ahead.
yeah, like if you can get your relationship to be really good with PayPal and they trust you, then it's very smooth. Yeah.
Especially if you scale really quickly. If PayPal sees weird scaling, that's when they tend to have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Would you say Google ads or Facebook ads? I know you obviously started with Facebook, but if somebody were to ask you, what do I start with, Google or Facebook? What would you say?
So I've tried both. I prefer Facebook a lot more, mainly because like the type of marketing that I like to do as well. I like to just draw people out with my ads and get them to buy and stuff. And also, yeah, Google for me it just burnt a lot of money when I tested it for the budget I was on. Um, yeah, I didn't really have like much success with Google because I only tested it for a bit. So yeah, I'm a lot more biased towards Facebook because it always goes well for me. Like even now.
Nice. And then please let us know any questions you have. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So does having a premium theme mean much or helps? You, in the beginning, started with I think the booster theme, you remember?
No, I started with debut theme,
Okay.
and then when I was starting to scale up past like 1K per week, I bought the booster theme, and yeah.
So you started with the free one, then transition onto the paid one, which is like what makes sense to do. And what we teach is you start out, and the Beautify 3.0, the new version of the Beautify, is really good. So there's a lot of people saying like, oh, I don't have money for a premium theme. Just get one of the free ones. They're getting much better. So
Yeah.
then upgrade.
Yeah.
What top tools would you recommend for a Shopify dropshipping store? What apps, what tools do you recommend that people use?
The one that I really like is Vitals app. It has pretty much a lot of apps in one, like currency converter, upsell apps, sticky add to cart, and a lot more. And it's like free for the first 30 days, and also it's just $29.99 after that. And it's pretty much like the only app that you would need on your store. Also, Reconvert is good for like upselling people post purchase after they buy from you. And that app is like free until you do more than 50 orders a month. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm blurring out, so if you can't see me properly, just keep hearing my voice. Just yeah. All right. So tips for beginners. What do you recommend for a beginner to do when they're starting their business? Basically, again, if it was you when you were starting, what would you tell yourself apart from get a mentor, do exactly what you tell?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. I don't know what else I would tell myself apart from
What do you tell our students, for example?
just be relentless. Don't falter. Don't like look at your goals every day. You know, like for me, I had a big motivation or like a strong why of why I wanted to do this. starting the business, if we're talking about mindset, that would be that. But if we're talking about like on the technical side, like store and stuff, uh, just I don't know, just try to do it right. Like have the right information to get across the river the right way. I don't know how to put it. Um, yeah, just uh, have the right information.
You think is the big one, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but I know you're really hard on mindset, and it's a big part.
I think like what really saved me from like being successful and unsuccessful is also like not just mindset, but also I had the right information. Because when I was failing and not getting, barely any sales, I was operating on the type of information that got me there. Well, I wanted to get like here. So I knew that I needed to get the information to get me there. And also obviously the support and stuff too, type of guidance. So yeah, that's what I would go back and tell myself, because I was watching a lot of videos online, trying to just consume so much information. And it was quite overwhelming because I didn't really know who to trust and believe anymore. After I, had that failed store, I was like, oh my God, like, is everything a lie now? But if I could go back to tell myself what to do instead, it would just to be like, get someone that can really help me and who I can talk to and stuff. And someone who's actually, tripped multiple times and found a process that works for himself and others.
Nice. If a target interest is profitable at testing phase and we create a CBO for it, if it is again profitable, should we increase the budget of the same CBO or duplicate it? So you want to be careful when campaigns on Facebook are profitable for you. You don't want to. What a lot of people do is they get a profitable campaign or audience and they start raising the budget thinking, oh, I'm just going to get it to spend more. But when you raise the budget, you mess up the actual results that you're getting. So what I always recommend, and I know Ryan, you recommend it too, is just you duplicate the ad set, duplicate the campaign. For example, you run a profitable ad set, you create a CBO, it's profitable. You now have two profitable campaigns, or at least two profitable audiences. You want to not just keep duplicating forever, but if the original CBO is profitable, don't mess with it, duplicate it. And then if it is again profitable, then you can start messing with increasing the budget. You can even test a bid cap, trying to get the right cost consistently, but don't mess with things that are working extremely well. And if you want to do budget increases, make sure that they are very slow, very paced. You never want to double the budget. You never want to, go from 10 to 50 or anything like that. So,
yeah, 100%.
So how much would it cost to mentor us? Where can we sign up? Well, there is no cost because we don't even know if you are a good fit to join. So if you do want to join, there's a link down in the description, the first link that you'll find down there. It is actually to talk to Ryan. So Ryan is actually part of Automated E-commerce now, and he's actually helping a lot of students, teaching a lot of students along with me. And in order to sign up, you need to talk to him first. So if you click the link, you'll see a survey where you can put in your information, see if you're a good fit, and actually talk to Ryan and see if we can help you. So that's a step before. Like I said, we want people that have the right mindset with the right type of, that they're coachable. And we want to actually help you get the results. In order to do that, we need to talk to you to see if you're the right fit. So if you are interested in that, click that first link in the description. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about, what would you tell about, let's say, information overload, for example? Like someone is watching a bunch of YouTube videos like you were before. Maybe they picked a course, they bought it, they didn't really get the results about it. How did you even end up finding me, for example? How do you find a mentor that fits you? Or how do you find the right information for you? Because you said, let me pay for that right information, but what if you go broke buying a bunch of wrong information? So.
Of course. And, I think like a lot, not, I wouldn't say a lot, but I don't like to credit things to luck. I think like I was lucky to find you, but it was like because I was already going down this route. Like I need to find the right guy for me. And so, when I booked a call with Anderson, who's one of your enrollment manager, and he told me about the program and everything, it really seemed like it was the right fit for me. Like after him showing me like what you were offering and stuff, I was like, okay, I want this. And then when I joined, it's just like, yeah, this is exactly what I needed. So it was like maybe I'm just lucky, or maybe it's because I've been looking for this. I've been buying courses after courses, and finally I've found like my guy, right? So whoever it is that you're looking for, like maybe you've been searching for the right info for a long time, and maybe this might be the final destination for you. I don't know. But what was your question again? Sorry.
So let's say that, okay, so it's you in, May 2019, like almost 2 years ago, and you're watching YouTube videos. You have a buddy of yours that's making money with e-com, and there's a billion gurus out there. How do you pick the one that is fit to you? So do you try to like talk to all of them and narrow down which one you want? Do you try to just watch as many videos as possible, and then the one that makes the most sense, you go for that one?
Of course. Yeah, that's exactly it. I talked to one other person, but I didn't really like what he was offering that much. And then when I spoke to Anderson, because I'm the type of guy who like, if I see a vehicle that's going to get me to where I want, I'm just going to really go for that one. I don't really like to shop around and just be like, oh, maybe that one is cheaper. Like, I don't really care about the cost too much for me. Like, if I could, afford it, and I could clearly see that this is what's going to get me to where I want, I'm going to take my chances, and I think like that's kind of the mindset that's helped me as well in Shopify business, because I was a risk taker. I was willing to take risk, and I focus on the opportunity and what I can create and stuff. I don't really let the costs hold me back from achieving my goals and dreams. If that makes sense.
Oh, it does. It does. You're very, you focus on the outcome. So is this going to be a vehicle that's going to take me to the place where I want to take? Okay, let me try it. So
yeah, like I talk to a lot of students who are new to the program as well, and sometimes I talk to people who want to join the program, and a lot of people, they ask me like, oh, what if it fails? What if it doesn't work out and stuff? Like, honestly, like looking back, I never really thought about that. I don't really think about like, what if it fails? And even the most successful students that you have, like, Johnny and Charmaine, who's doing like 20K days, I think that they don't ask that question either. Their mindset is more of like, oh, what are your most successful students doing so that I can do that? They don't ask like, oh, what if it fails? Like, what if like this happens? They just care about the opportunity, really. And maybe that's the mindset that it takes to be successful as well. So, yeah.
I think so. I think because I've worked with, over 2,000 people, at least on a group or one-to-one basis. And I think that the main thing is, how do you view success and failure? So a lot of people, they won't get success, and they're like, I've invested so much money in my business, and I'm always failing. What am I doing wrong? Versus people like Charmaine, who in the beginning it was really hard for her. She was always thinking, how can I get to 50K a month? I'm not getting there yet. What's happening? Instead of saying, why am I failing so much? It's like, hey, there's my goal. I'm not getting there. What am I doing wrong? So it's more of, are you thinking about your failures, or are you thinking about your successes? So that's big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I remember Charmaine, she was on the group coaching calls a few times, and she was asking a lot of questions, and she sounded a bit like a bit overwhelmed as well. But then, like, literally in a few months, she was doing 20K days. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Do you recommend having a consistent number of sales before leaving AliExpress? If so, what is that number? Yeah, so you don't even need to start with AliExpress in the beginning, to be honest. It's just AliExpress is kind of like an open market for everyone. So dropshipping and Shopify is a business that anybody can start. Dropshipping is sort of the place where anybody can get a supplier. Now, the lower barrier of entry something has, the worse quality it is. So a restaurant that'll let you in with, a short and a broken tank top probably doesn't serve the best food, versus the restaurant that you need to wear a suit to go to that probably serves better food. So, for example, on AliExpress, you're going to have a lot of suppliers that are going to not answer you. They might even scam you. In the beginning, if you can't find any other options, which there are, I'm going to actually make a video in the next couple of weeks on the best current suppliers you can use. For example, Source Inbox, CJ Dropshipping is getting a lot better. Hyper SKU is also pretty good. You have eProlo. Those are great alternatives to using AliExpress. If all of those reject you, or it gets to the point where you can't find your product in any of those, then you can go to AliExpress. And he said, I started with AliExpress, then moved to SendDrop, but getting royally screwed. Yeah, SendDrop, I do not recommend that company. They started out calling themselves Silk Road, and then they got into some legal trouble because Silk Road was like this giant, illegal operation. Yeah. And then they changed their name to SendDrop. I don't like the owner. I don't like their team. I've looked deep into their company. I really don't like what's going on over there. So I would not recommend that. But there are other companies. For example, the guy that's talking, it's called Formula E. That's your name on YouTube. I would definitely consider something like eProlo. eProlo, for example, is like an Oberlo, but a little bit more exclusive. The prices tend to be pretty nice, and the shipping is actually decent. Where if maybe Source Inbox or another company might not work with you, you might want to switch to eProlo. So that would be a good one. Egypt, you're one of the new students. That's awesome. I'm a student. I learned so much in the first few videos. That's awesome. Great to know. Very good. Very, very good. All right, we are at the 42-minute mark, so we're going to stay for like 5 more minutes. Let us know your questions down in the comments. We're happy to answer them. Let us know.
Yeah.
And Ryan, what do you think makes you consistent with business? Because I don't know why. When you joined and started working with me, by the way, if you're interested in working with us, click that first link in the description. Talk to Ryan. See if we can help you and get you results. When you actually started working with me, I saw something different in you. And I thought like, oh, let me help this guy a little bit more. Like he seems different. So in the beginning, even I kind of saw it that you were going to be successful. How do you maintain consistency? How do you not just fall off the wagon and lose everything?
I mean, I was looking at my goals every day.
Okay.
Which helped. It's sometimes I think like it's really good to just remind yourself, because we tend to forget. I know it sounds crazy, but like a lot of you guys might have goals, but it's a lot stronger if you look at it every day. Sometimes I even write it down every day, like my ideal scene of how I want to live in 2020, 2021, and I would just like remind myself of my why, like why I'm doing this, because I feel like motivation is kind of like it comes and goes, right? You always don't have high motivation, but if you can have discipline, which is also something that you talked about in the mindset module, like if you can build really strong discipline, then you'll stay consistent. And part of building that discipline was looking at my goals every day and planning my days and my weeks and just pretty much following the program. Like it's not really, I don't consider myself as someone who is like a genius, who is like special or anything like that. Like, because a lot of new students, they ask me like, oh, Ryan, what's like your secret to success or whatever? Like there's not really a secret. All I did was I followed the program and I just really put in the work. And I was showing up every day, every week on the group calls and, asking questions in the Facebook group and connecting with other successful students to help me along the way. So, yeah, that's me.
All right, and then we'll take the last question, and we're done with it. If you see me blurry, it's my internet. I'm in Dubai. It's not that good. Does having a custom picture for the product page make a difference? Yes.
Yeah.
Best to have the best picture possible. Not to be the same as the competition, but to be a lot better. So this is a quick live. Thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing your secrets. If you want to watch the replay, you can watch it as many times as you want. Let me know if you want Ryan back on the channel, talking more about his journey. And if you want to work with us and talk to Ryan directly, if you want to talk to one of my six-figure students, click on that first link down in the description. Fill out the information. You get to talk to us and work with us. And let's get results for your business. I'll see you on the next one, man.
Thank you.